Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a tarot oracle reading. And this is a bonus reading for the new moon total solar eclipse on August the 12th. And you, Capricorn, are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Capricorn, we all have a little bit of Capricorn in us somewhere. If you do have your birth chart, which house is Capricorn in, that will give you further clarity as to where this information is most prominent for you. This is general or collective, and general is meaning this is for everybody who wants to see it, and collective is more my subscribers who tend to come to the channel more often, so that their energy is more prominent in my readings now. All right, so here we go. We have the underlying energy for this new moon is the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords is talking about some sort of communication or information coming in. We have two pages here, so that could be information that's coming in from a certain time frame. And the pages would work for the king and queen around 7 to 14 years of age. And when they were 21, they might even be considered for knighthood if they could afford their own horse. So this is could be talking about information coming in the around the time frame when you were in elementary school, high school, starting out in college, university, maybe apprenticing for work. And I could also be talking about the information coming from or being about people that you knew from that time frame, as well, of course, as family members, because during that time you would definitely know your family. And so, well, not necessarily for some people, I guess. So this energy is talking about communication, information coming in. This page is representing the sword or the element of air. And the sword does represent your thoughts. It's your mental intelligence, discipline of your mind. It also is a double-edged sword, so it's representing your logic as well as your intuition. And he is not looking at his element because he already knows the logical question. He wants to think outside the box and get a creative solution by using his intuition as well. So this energy is talking about maybe sometimes this can even come information that could come from within you, where you have an epiphany and it's like, aha, I know what I need to do. It's that kind of energy. Or it could be talking about having some sort of information coming in through an email, a phone call. It could, in the old days, it would always be in person because that was their only option, really. But these days, it's more likely to be, a phone call, a text message, possibly an email. Maybe you get some documents or papers coming in. This can sometimes, this is also could be degrees or certificates or that type of energy. And you could be on social media and actually get messaged by someone, go to an event there, and then run into someone. But this would be someone that has the information that you need and, provide you with something maybe that you've been thinking about doing or something that you've been considering, been thinking about a long time, and you need one more piece of information, and here it is, yay. So this is a breath of fresh air coming in. And then we have the Five of Cups for the upper part of the reading. The upper part is representing the energy of the moon, and this new moon is in the sign of Leo. And it is opposed by the energy exactly opposite on the zodiac wheel, Aquarius. And there is some commonalities between Leo and Aquarius energy. Leo, they both are really like to be individuals and are individualistic. Excuse me. Oh. Excuse me. We have a lot of smoke in the air around here right now from all the. I'm in British Columbia with all the fires, and they're not that far from me here, and so excuse me. That's also a good way of clearing energy. I let the cat sit out in the balcony for a while, and it's really smoky out there today. So I apologize, but I think I'm done now. What was I saying? Oh, I was saying about individuality. And so both Leo and Aquarius, enjoy the idea of being an individual and expressing that. But Leo is more about, they're natural born leaders. That's kind of the energy that they have. And it takes them sometimes a little while to mature to be in that energy. But they're very charismatic and they want to be leaders. It's natural for them. And they are more likely to say, just let me lead and follow. I'm not interested in your opinion. Whereas Aquarius energy, they enjoy that individual idea as well, but they are more likely to be a team player and take in the information from other people in the group and then come to some sort of agreement in which direction to go. So that could represent, people at work or your family or, whatever group, that community that is that you're working with or living with, etc. And so that's kind of like the energy of this eclipse. And like this new moon is not just a new moon, it's also an eclipse. And we are ending an eclipse season from February the 17th and March 3rd. And we're moving into a new one on August 12th with this new moon. So if you think back to what was going on February 17th to March 3rd, that could give you some idea of what's going on here as well. That energy is winding up. The new moon energy, we will feel that usually 3 days before and 3 days after for sure. But with the eclipses, that's like over a long stretch, like around 6 months, because the eclipses come in series. And so the last time that we had this particular Leo Aquarius axis for the eclipse season was in August of 2016 until January of 2019. And then we also had February 2008 to August 2009 before that. And then way back we had August 1998 to July of 2000. So those time frames could all be significant. This is very similar energy, and quite often, if you look at the eclipse season, right now is a great time to write down like 5 to 10 points of, hey, what would you like to accomplish? And you might be surprised when you just put it away and 6 months later you pull it out to see what all did you accomplish. It probably is more than you think. If you wrote it down, even I when I checked my list, there was things I put on there that I forgot that I put on there, but I did them anyway. So when you write things down, you have a tendency to do it. And you might, it might be beneficial for you. And especially if you can go back to those time frames, it might give you some idea of the energy that you're dealing with in your particular situation now. All right, we have the Five of Cups, and the Five of Cups is talking about regret, remorse. The Five of Cups is talking about, the cups are love in tarot. And this can be romantic love, it quite often is, but it also can be love of anyone or anything. And the energy is talking about, if you've ever heard the saying, don't cry over spilt milk, it's saying when something has happened, these 3 cups are spilled, and there's no, you're not going to get that liquid out of the ground. So you have to accept it as a loss. And this person is really in regret and remorse here. In romantic love, quite often, we have 2 cups here with wine in them, and then we have a cup with another liquid that was poisonous to a couple, a third party energy is what that represents. So it's talking about the regret or remorse could be coming from you because your partner strayed, or your partner could be in that energy because they did, or it could even be the third party or all 3 of you. It can also represent, giving 3 chances to someone and then they don't come through, or, just very disappointing, something you really regret and a lot of remorse around it. So the best thing you can do here is turn around and notice that there's 2 cups here and that are standing. And those 2 cups that are standing, it's best just pick them up, appreciate the fact that they're still standing, and be grateful for that, and walk down the path, cross over the bridge over troubled waters here, and go to your castle to recuperate. Now, even in the background, the castle there is half dilapidated and half standing. So what this card is saying is, if you've been going through some sort of difficulty, you're going to need to have a good attitude to be able to really come out of it and do well. You don't want to be standing here for the rest of your life. Eventually you have to move forward. And then this is the energy also, is the cup half full or is the cup half empty? And a good attitude can take you a long way. And then we have the Queen of Cups energy. And the Queen of Cups is talking about love, unconditional. And she is the most traditional of the 4 queens. She's been showing up in the readings a lot throughout this series. And in part, she can also represent your maternal bloodline, your mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, aunts, on either side of the family. And it could also represent female cousins and sisters, people that you look up to, or maybe look at as mother figures. You might be a mother, or this could be the mother of your children. In any case, if this is about love, she does have it could be saying that someone has offered her a cup of love, or you are the Queen of Cups and you're offering someone a cup of love. Remember, all the characters in tarot are not gender specific. So they represent masculine and feminine energy. This could be a male in his feminine energy as well as a female. And so her cup is so big, it's like a trophy. Because she is more like this is a much more traditional person, like someone like that would be in a more likely to be in a traditional marriage, and maybe these days like a trad wife energy, someone that her family is her trophy, and it has a lid on it because that represents unconditional love. We have the moon here, which is not surprising. That's been coming out because we do have that new moon eclipse energy. And this lobster is wanting to climb out of this water, which represents emotion, and get back on his path after I feel this is the energy that the new moon is coming up for you, Capricorn, is maybe you've been through some sort of difficulty here and you're looking for a way to solve the problem or find a solution to get through it and get back on your path. The lobster wants to stay in between these 2 pillars, but he's got this dog and this wolf in his way here. They're both howling at the moon, and he's like, man, I want to get past there, but he's a lobster, and if he has to go all the way around those pillars, he could get like really far out of his way. So he's kind of waiting to see if they fall asleep, or, and he can sneak by, or they get so involved in the howling that he can sneak by and they don't notice him. The dog represents your domestic life, and the wolf represents your wild side, your public image. And so this again is bringing up this energy of this new moon eclipse energy. We also have the sun, the full moon, and the new moon here representing the eclipse energy. So Definitely, there's this, the moon is quite often is talking about hidden illusions, secrets coming out, and definitely we see that there's a possibility of that here. The opposing energy is in Aquarius, and that energy sheds light on the situation, and also like it's helps to bring the truth out. And it also is, you know, it's not just shedding light on the situation, but allowing you to move forward. Like the advice, like what is this? What are you going to do to get through this? And we have now that you know what you know after this information comes in. You have conviction beyond a doubt that you want to move forward and how you're going to do it. The wands represent the element of fire, and they're made of wood because the wood represents, well, it fuels the fire and it represents passionate action. And you can see he's protecting his heart and his chest with this wand, and he has 6 other wands coming towards him. So these are the actions of others trying to take what's his or wanting to stop him. And he has a boot on one foot and a shoe on the other. So he's on higher ground. He's gone up on the hill here. Now, this energy could be talking about like he was in a real hurry and he didn't look at his footwear. So it could be like something happens suddenly and you have to deal with it. And then like, it's like, okay, it's come to a boiling point and now you're going to have to deal with this energy. And you have conviction beyond a doubt what you're going to do now. You know what action you want to take. Sometimes this can represent an energy of walking in someone else's shoes. So it can actually represent someone like identity theft, forgery, catfishing, you know, that type of energy. So there could be somewhat of that involved in the situation, and you may or may not be aware of it. We have the Queen of Pentacles. Now, the Queen of Pentacles is known for being very resourceful. She can make something out of nothing, and she's representing the energy of earth, the element of earth, and earthly matters, physical matter on the earth. So this is basically about your, you know, health, wealth, and happiness in the 3D world. And it's talking about, you know, definitely about money because that's a big part of it. But you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle you want. So this is talking about lifestyle and, you know, above money. And the thing is about the Queen of Pentacles, she comes from generational wealth. This is old money. So she's not flashy. And she is more likely to enjoy quality over quantity. But there's a lot of people in my collective that have left comments and, you know, under the videos saying that, you know, they feel like something was taken from them, an inheritance or some, you know, there's a lot of talk around that energy. And so I always ask now when the Queen of Pentacles comes out, why is the Queen of Pentacles having to be so, like she's known to be so resourceful, but why does she have to be resourceful? If she comes from generational wealth, that's a legacy that's been passed down from one generation to the next. And she, you know, it's good that she can be resourceful, but I want to know why. And I'm asking for my collective. Why? What happened? How can we fix this? How can we get back that lifestyle that we're supposed to have that was left to us? And then we have the Page of Cups. Well, maybe this is the way. Someone might have their eye on you. This is quite often talking about romantic love, and it's, you know, again, a page. So it's during, you know, this could be someone from your past. That, you know, from maybe, you know, ever had a relationship with them. They're from elementary, or you had a puppy love type situation in high school or something. Or this can represent, again, those people that you met around that time frame. But this is talking about the Page of Cups. He knows that there's plenty of fish in the sea, but he's focused on this particular fish. And he is wanting to... he has his eye on this fish. And so this is talking about maybe someone getting in touch with you, sending you flowers or something, wanting to ask you out on a date, that type of energy. Or maybe you are wanting to do that. So we have, going from here to here, we have the Page of Cups, representing someone who has their eye on you, possibly interested romantically. And then we also have the Page of Swords. And this brings in, when you, this energy it's talking about, it brings in an aha moment, or it brings in the information that you need regarding this situation here. Now, isn't that interesting? Because that would imply that these would be people that you know from way back when, and they may have been involved in this situation. And the thing is about this card is, you know, it can also mean that there's something fishy going on in your love life, or something stinks, because, you know, if you leave a fish out of water and you don't pay attention to it for too long, it's going to start to smell. So it could be something to do with this energy. Now, if this isn't romantic love, it could be saying like someone has their eye, or you may have even hired someone to have your eye on someone to see what was going on, and, you know, find out, you know, this is what happened. We have the Queen of Pentacles energy, and she is, you know, let's ask that question again. Why is she having to be so resourceful? And perhaps you get that answer in there. And look at this. It might have something to do with another love, but it might also have something to do with something that happened in your maternal bloodline. Like, and sometimes this can represent, you know, that energy of DNA, fostering and adopting children, because she has a big heart and she's kind and she'll bring a lot of children in. But the maternal bloodline is actually, can be traced way back because of the mitochondria in our cells. That's the part of what they use to trace a maternal bloodline. Your mitochondria is like the battery of your cell, and the mother passes that down to both sons and daughters, but only the daughters carry it down the line. So that's how they can trace the female energy down a family line. So there could be some sort of, maybe there's some sort of money coming in that would improve your lifestyle, because maybe you were adopted or something and you didn't know it. If you're like, this is not definitely for everyone, but you see that happening a lot more now with the DNA testing, people finding out that they're not really who they thought they were. And, you know, in the past, no one would be able to really tell for sure, but nowadays they can be pretty accurate if you, you know, look into it. So it could be that kind of energy for some. Or these, this could be talking about someone from your past, maybe on that maternal side, comes to you with information, or you find out some information about someone in your past regarding this. Now here is, now that you know what you know, you have conviction beyond a doubt, and you know what action you want to take because of this information coming in. And it was hidden for, you know, and it's talking about your domestic and your, you know, being at home and then being at work. So this definitely could be pointing again to this kind of energy here, where there was maybe some stepping out, you know, in the relationship. I'm going to clarify this for those that want clarification. If you're leaving the reading here and you're like, no, I know what this is about, then good for you, Capricorn. I'll just finish telling you a little bit more here then, before I clarify that, like, a good thing to know about this particular eclipse energy is that it can really cause like long-term changes in your romantic life, dating, your hobbies, sports. It's that things that you love to do as an individual and also as a group, or, you know, how it affects your individual life. And flaws in your systems, like in on the bigger scale, in the systems around the world, are going to be coming to light, and also flaws within your own life, in your own, you know, the way the systems that you have, the way you run your home, and your just everything, and that is shown here as well. It kind of looks like that. And we also have this real desire to stand out and be an individual and to be able to express yourself that way. So bottom line, that's what for the Capricorn energy, you know, this is talking about, you know, the Capricorn glyph is the sea goat. And that's like, Capricorn energy is very determined. So if, you know, it's about taking consistent steps of action towards your goals. And once you know what you know, and you have conviction beyond a doubt where you're going to go, you're going to get there, because that's the nature of Capricorn. Get up and climb that mountain, fall down, get back up, climb that mountain. It's that energy. So I'm going to go ahead now and clarify this. This is my Oracle, Tales from the Vector. It's courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. This is one of the paintings from there. The numbers on these cards represent the paintings as they're listed in my Oracle, like in the gallery on my website, talesfromthevector.com. I'll put them in the order they appear here in the description box below, and that might give you some further idea of what's going on if you want more clarity. So we have denial here. What I don't know won't hurt me. I feel like your intuition's been yelling at you, you know, there's something going on that you need to take a look at. And now it's coming through. And for some, it feels like it could be something to do with your romantic life, or it could be like a business partner, or just something with friends, family, whatever. But definitely your intuition is saying, quit denying it and take a look. Because what I don't know won't hurt me. Yes, it can hurt you if you don't know something and you're being naive, right? We have the moon energy here again. So this is again saying hidden illusions and secrets are here. And if you use both sides of this sword and tame your mind basically to work for you, discipline it to work for you through meditation and prayer, use your logic and your intuition, you're more likely to have reckless abandon, which is WRECK. So you finally get to the truth. When you have the truth, you're way more likely to, you know, make really strong choices. And then we have the Hangman. So this energy is saying whatever this is, it's been maybe stuck for some time. It can even go back to your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother. The information coming in could be something to do with that. And about having this balance also between your domestic life and your public image, that your, you know, socialized life. And the Hangman, he hangs from the tree of knowledge, and he's hanging upside down because he wants to get a better perspective of what's going on. So he's looking at it from every angle possible. And that gives, when he feels that he has arrived to the answer, then he comes down from the tree and he takes action. And that's what this is representing here. The need to be right. So, you know, this is sitting on this moon energy and on this, like, this energy of regret. I feel like you would be better off to know in this point. It would be good to be right at this point here. Sometimes the need to be right can be a karmic space that we fall into, where we always have to be right, and that means everybody else has to be wrong, and we have to be right about everything. And you don't want to get into that habit. It's hard to be happy if you are the one that always has to be right and everybody else has to be wrong around you. It's no fun for anyone. So this is saying, don't make molehills out of mountains. And don't make mountains out of molehills. So there's times when you do need to be right, and I feel like you need to look into this situation, and that's why this is coming up. And then we have judgment. Yeah, there's some sort of judgment being called here. Whatever the information was, you can't deny something anymore, and you have to take a look at it. And this is God's judgment, cosmic judgments coming down, and so this is going to happen. It's talking about whatever this is going to come out in the open. And we have strength and integrity to face it. So this can be talking about the resourcefulness of the Queen of Pentacles, saying that, you know, that you have had a lot of strength in looking into this situation. But when the truth comes out, when God's judgment comes out, if you're on the right side of the law, it's going to be a blessing. And if you're on the wrong side of the law, spiritual and physical, it's going to be, well, you've been caught, basically, and you're going to have to deal with that. But this is talking about having the integrity and the strength of character to get through these situations, like the Queen of Pentacles. Even though she's not living maybe the most lucrative lifestyle, she is still admired for her ability to make the most of what she does have. And that's talking kind of about this energy here as well. And then we have the High Priestess. Use your intuition. The High Priestess is joyful because, for one thing, she sits next to God in the, at his feet on her throne. But the other thing is she uses her intuition and her logic to come to creative solutions, and she's known to be highly intuitive. So because of that, she makes strong decisions and then moves forward. And it's sitting right on this Page of Cups. So basically, I feel like it's saying if you have a feeling that something's going on, that something fishy is going on in your romantic love life or in a friendship or in a relationship that, is significant, someone in your inner circle, take it, don't ignore it, because you're going to be better off to know what's going on. And I feel regardless of whether you actively go out, this truth is coming out because it's already been under judgment on the spiritual realm. And, it's been called already. So bottom line is, whatever is happening, it's going to come out anyway. So you prepare yourself for a truth. But the good part about that is I feel like you've been kind of being held back from knowing, okay, what direction to go in, because you don't know what the truth is. Once you know, you're going to be able to make strong decisions about moving forward. All right. This is, all of the readings have been this way. A little bit, some good news, bad news energy, but it's always better to know the truth, even if it's hard to hear. And eventually the truth always does come out. It's just a matter of time. So you're better off if it comes out sooner so that you don't waste a bunch of time and you also are able to make strong choices. All right, Capricorn, I will be back with another reading for you soon. Bye for now.